So like I said, we're going to continue from where we stopped yesterday. I've done some other things on it. So what will happen is that I will try to revert back to that place we stopped so that we'll continue from there. You get? So we stopped yesterday at the point whereby we were able to add tasks and also to delete tasks. For those tasks, you're not being persistent. That is to say they are not saved. When I reload my browser, they will go away. So let me just revert back to that place. Then I share my screen. We'll continue from there. So let's just go back. Now I'm coming. So let's just go back to that place. Let me revert back to that side. Okay, I've seen it. Okay. I have a toggle form. Sorry. Okay, no toggle form function. And as well, there's no what is it called? There's no toggle class. I'm just trying to remove the new things I added. There's no set reminder as well. Only add and delete. Good. So for my tasks, there's only delete. There's no set reminder. Right. So this as a class. For this as a class of div, right? So I'm almost done with it. Then for my button, no, I've not started sharing. I'm just trying to take the work back to where we stopped yesterday, because yesterday after the class I just continued building the project. So I just want to remove those other things I added so that we'll continue from that same place we stopped. You can only have these two here, title. Okay, coming for this, I only have adding a new task, submit form. Okay, this one is not among. What again? What else? I think I'm almost there. I don't think this guy is also among. Nava. Okay. 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 From button task. Okay, let me just see if it's running. Then let's continue. Okay, so if I cancel, reload my page, I'm still getting things from local storage. I'm coming. App.view. Okay, I've seen where they're coming from. Okay, so I've seen where they're coming from. So by the time I reload, delete, reload. So okay, that's for that. So I've seen it. Then my button, I think I'm missing a text here. So let me just put anything there. So inside my navbar, I have a button. Then let me see. Title, button. So the title equal to open button title string.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't think you're sharing your screen.
No, I've not started sharing.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Let me start sharing now. I don't know, I've missed a style or something, but don't worry, we can go about that. So let me start sharing. So if I come back to this, let me start sharing my screen. So I believe you can all see my screen, right? I believe you can all see my screen. USD to dollar. Okay. Now, let me go back to the browser. This was where we stopped yesterday, right? We were able to add tasks, do all of this, but I don't know. I've lost my button, but don't worry, we'll put a new button. That one is not an issue. So, like I said yesterday, we can come add a new task, right? Then when we submit it to be added to the page, it will be at the top. We can also delete as well, right? We can delete, sorry, you can see that it's been deleted, but this data, they are not being persistent. When I reload the page, you can see they are not coming back. Is that not so? But don't, we wanted to do something like this, GB to do something similar to this, whereby I can toggle, open. This is not what I'm looking for. This is not what I'm looking for. GB. Okay, good. I've seen it. GB to do have notified alarm. So I wanted to do something like this. I'm coming. Let it open. So that was slow today. Okay, whereby I can toggle this form. Can you see what's happening? I can open and close, right? So this is what I wanted to do. So before that, let me just come back to this button. You guys can see my screen now. Let me just come back to this button component, right? Let me just remove this title. Let me just see open so that something will show there. If I go to my nav bar, what's it called? Nav bar. Let me remove this title. So let's just start from here. I think something will show up now on my page. Okay, good. Now something is showing. So are we together? I guess we are together. So let me just let me see. So can you guys see my screen? Oh, this is just stop issue. So let me share again. Please, when it stops sharing, please just call my attention. You get, when I'm recording, I can't really see what's going on, or I can't really tell if the thing is still being recorded or not. So if for instance it stops, just call my attention so that I can start it again. So let's continue. Now, like I said, this was where we stopped yesterday, right? When I delete, the data are not being persistent. I can cancel, but when I reload my page, they will come back. And also my form, there's nothing going on here, right? I want to do this in such a way that I can be able to toggle my form. Are you following? Then when I say toggle the form, when I click on this place, it will open and it will also close, right? That's what I want to do. Then secondly, I want to make this data persistent. That's to say, when I reload the page, I want them to stay on local storage. Let's say for instance, I have I'm coming. Let me say for instance, I have one item. When I reload the page, I don't want that item to go away. If you notice, this was coming from my app.js. Let me just show you guys. This was coming from my app.view rather. So when I zoom in, you can see this is the task. Now, initially or by default, this task is supposed to be an empty array. You get. Now this array, watch what will happen though. By the time I go back to will not fight too. Sorry guys, by the time I go back to when I reload, can you see what's happening? I'll come in. I'm sorry guys. So let's continue. So like I said, now if you look at what I just did, I just deleted all the tasks here, right? So that it will be empty because that's how it's supposed to be by default. The reason I added those tasks is such that I can be able to get something to do my styling. Now when I come back here and reload, can you see what's happening? There's no task. Even if I add one, add another task, add and so on and so forth. By the time I reload the page, you see what is happening. These guys are going out, right? Now on your browser, there's what we call local storage. We are going to be making use of local storage. Remember in JavaScript, there are different ways to save data. I can do local storage, I can do session storage, I can use what's it called? JSON placeholder. Yeah, I can use JSON to store data. right? I can use JSON to store data, JSON place to that API, something like that. And I can also get from an external API. I can also create my own API and do stuff like that. But then this is a simple application. We don't want to go into creating API or so on and so forth. So let's just make use of local storage and session storage. So we'll make use of local storage. Now, local storage is very important when it comes to an application. Let me tell you why. You see those most of these apps you see, your session or the user authentications, most of them that have been created using either local storage or session storage. You get. So when I come to application, I can see things I have on my local storage. These things are coming from what different apps I've built before now. You get. So I've built something on blog, something on Terraform, something on to do. So before now, right? So this is one I was testing with before the class. So let me just remove it. Right. So there's no task on my local storage because task is the name of the resource I want to use. So when you click on this, right? And you know how to set items on local storage now from JavaScript. If I want to set an item, the method is called local storage or set item. If I want to get an item, local storage or get item. So things like that. So let's just go back and start writing our code. So where do we start from? Now, is screen share enabled? Can you guys see my screen? I guess you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen. Your screen is
Okay,
visible.
okay. So I just want to be sure. So now let me go back to this guy, right? So this is where we want to start our work on now, right? So first of all, let's work on the storage problem, right? If I come here, see buy food or something, when I add it will be added. If I say read all the right, if I don't want to add the reminder, let me say this one is this, or let me see if I want to add the reminder. You can see now there's no feedback telling us that we added the reminder or something. You get. So now how do we go about this? How do we go about this? Now, first of all, like I said, let's start with the persistent data storage. You can see that when I reload it will go out. Now the first thing to do is that I will go back to my app.view, right? Because this is where I'm doing all the logic and everything. Is that not so? Now these tags, remember task is returning an empty array. Now, first of all, I want to check for um task on my local storage. Is there any resource called task? Remember there was one, but I deleted it. So first of all, let's go and check. So I'll do something like this: local storage or get item. Now, if you want to get an item from a local storage, you use the key, right? Remember, if you want to set an item to local storage, you use the key value pair to set. Let me say I want to set something. I will say local storage. Let me just remove this local storage the set item, right? And I'll give it a key. Let me say task, right? Then now what is this task? We can hold something, maybe an array of many tasks, things like that. But now I don't want to set, I want to get. Now if I want to get, there's no need of saying key value pair. I just need only the key. I will follow it. I just need only the key. Now I will check local storage the set item. I will check for task. If there is a task array, if there is a task, give me that task. No, let me show you what this guy will do. Let me show you what this guy will do first. Let me show you what this will do. I'm coming. It's supposed to give me an error. Can you see what's happening? I'm getting an error. Is that not so? Now let me inspect and show you what this error means. If I come to my console, good. Now they say type error. Fail to execute set item, not set item. Sorry, get item. I want to use get item rather. You guys your get item, right? So let me reload. I'm still supposed to get an error or a warning. Okay. Okay, good. Invalid prop type check. Okay. I'm supposed to get an error or a warning, but let me just tell you what this means. Now, if you look at this, there's no task on my local storage. So for some what's it called? I'm coming. Let's see for my hand. Okay, there's no okay, fine. Now, there's something I can do just to avoid error, for the sake of avoiding error. I can do something so that in case it search for task and it didn't see, I can as well put an empty array there, such that my JavaScript method, remember what we looked at yesterday was array. You get array method was always in doing everything, like for this and this, do this array and this and this. So just in case it didn't see any task, or just in case it sees a task and that task is not an array, maybe it's not a string or something, for us to avoid an error. You get. So we should do something like this. In case there's no task, just give me an empty array. I will follow it. So don't forget, nothing will still happen. You get. except I'm having a resource here like this. Let me see, text. I see. Okay, okay. Now let me say I have something else, and I say hello. Okay, I have hello. Then I have date. I'm coming. Date as 20 something. Okay, if I save this now, can you see what is happening? That's just what's happening. You can see that there's now something here. Now, if I say comma again, and I put another data, if I say text, and I say text two, then I do something like date. I say 2020 January. So if I save, can you see what's happening? Now, what this is simply saying is that get this item from local storage. But if you don't see the item from local storage, simply make use of this guy. You get this same thing as using ternary operator. So this is just like a shorthand form of it. So let me just remove this resource because I don't need it. I will follow. We want to get item from local storage. Then also we did this one yesterday when we're adding a task. You should take an argument, then you should set the task state to be equal to the current task we're adding so that it will be on top, then we'll spread across the previous task, right? So that was what we did yesterday. Now, what I want to do now is this. Okay, after adding, I want to set item to my local storage by doing local storage dot set item, right? Now, what am I setting? I need a key, and the name of that key should be what? Tasks, right? Tasks. So I want to get them by a key. Don't forget, we are getting this guy by a key. So what we want to set, we set by that same key name. Yes. Then now I want to set this dot task. Now what should happen? This dot task, so that whatever this dot task is, which is the current state of that array, I want to set it to my local storage, right? So if I come back here and I do something like this, hello, then add, can you see what's happening? It's been set. So please take note of that. So I'm coming. If I reload the page, you can see what's happening. There's a little error here. You can see what's happening. Now I'm coming. Let's check our console for that error. If I come to console, can you see what's happening? It's saying invalid prop type, check fit, blah 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 blah. It goes on string value and object. Now the reason this error is coming is because for me to do request and response, or whenever I'm doing changing of data between backend or server, local storage or anything, that data needs to be in the form of JSON. You get? Remember, JSON is like the general or the universal language for communication between server and client. Don't forget, remember your JavaScript now. I think before it used to be XH, arrow, HTTP something, but I think the recent one is JSON, which has been in existence for some time now. So instead of me to do this like this, when I'm doing it, it's seeing it as a string. So it's returning something like object. In fact, let me show you something. If I come here, go to application, can you see what's happening? It doesn't know how to read that task, so it's giving object. You get? So all I need to do, I was supposed to convert this guy. Whenever you want to set an item to your local storage, you say JSON stringify. Don't forget, guys, JSON stringify. Remember, JSON objects and JSON and JavaScript objects, they are similar, but the difference is that JSON uses double quote all through, right? Both for the key and the value. So if I reload this page, I want to delete this object so that my stuff will be clear, right? So I want to reload this page again. So let me add a new task. If I say hello world, then I add this. Can you see what's happening? Now I'm going to make this guy a bit bigger. Now if I come back to my can I make this big? Okay, good. It's kind of big now. Now if I come back to this page, can you see what I'm having? I'm having tasks, and this task I have something here, hello world. So you can see now this thing has been passed correctly, right? And so please take note of that. And also when I'm getting these guys, when I'm getting it, I'm supposed to do something like, okay, task local storage JSON to get item task. Okay. Now sometimes, like for mine, it just works like this. But sometimes maybe you are doing something else. I'm supposed to do JSON dot pass. You get? So sometimes you can do it ordinarily to still work. But for our case, it's just working like that. So let's just manage. You can see the task is already rendering on the browser. Now, what will happen when I reload this page? When I reload this page, this thing is also going out, and I'm getting this. Okay, let's see what's wrong with this. Local storage will get item task. Local storage will get item task. Okay, I'm coming. Let me see. So I'm supposed to do something like json.pass, right? Let me see. Let me try json.pass. Local storage will get item task. So good. Can you see what I just explained? Remember, I said if you want to um take to local storage, if you want to set an item, we use JSON.stringify. Then if you want to get, we need to pass it back. You get? I thought it worked, not knowing that it's just showing itself. It didn't work. So when I did the JSON.pass, you can see that it's working. When I reload the page, you can see the item is still here, right? I'm reloading this page, is still here. So if I come here again and I say test2 or test3 add, you can see I'm having these two. But by the time I reload the page, the data are still persistent. So before we continue, let me just get your feedback. Are we still here? Is there any question from what we've done so far before I continue? Is there any question from what we've done so far? Are we all following? Remember, we've not done anything. We just, I'm coming. This is the only line of code I've written. We're just trying to, trying to get something from local storage instead of, what's it called, doing it manually. And also, when we are adding, um, we want to set the item to local storage, you get, instead of just pushing it to the array. We're now pushing it inside the array and setting that array, taking it to our local storage. So is there any questions so far before we continue? Is there any questions so far before I continue? So I need a response, please. Huh?
The data field, the data method is one fetching it back from the local storage.
Yes, exactly. The data method is what's getting it from the local storage. In fact, the other method I would have done, say, but I just want to keep it simple. I can do something like created will always run. Remember, it's a part of the option API like that, but I just want to keep it simple within the scope, within what I explained when I was teaching it. So data method runs and it renders that guy, gets it from local storage. You get the method. Remember, is our own custom method that will create such that they can be called by HTML events. We're clear now, Abi?
Yeah.
Don't forget, we did this after yesterday. I'm just modifying it so that it can be saved to the local storage. So that's for that. What about deleters? Now, when I delete a task, it's still the same thing. Now, if for instance I have an item on my local storage before, so I'm coming, I want to show you something. Let me go back to this place. Don't forget, I have two items on my local storage now, right? Now I want to delete one. Now if I delete this one is only going away from the UI. It's still on the local storage. Why? If I reload, can you see that it's coming back? And if I delete this, it's just deleting from the UI, but it's still on the local storage. When I go back to inspect, right, and I go to what's it called, application, you can see that it's still here. In fact, it's even adding more to it. Sorry, not the sorry, not the that's it. You can see it's 0 and 1, 0 and 1. So it's still there, even if I delete. So how do we now clear this guy from local storage? Now, if a resource already exists on my local storage and I try to put that resource again to replace the former one, you get. So I can just do something like this just to copy this guy, this line of code, and put it here, such that whenever this method runs, right, it will remove from the UI and it will set the task state, which is the current task state, to the local storage again, thereby removing the previous one. Now, what is happening? The previous local storage, now I'm having two items, right? When this guy is running again, it will update it when it has turned to 1. So when I click on this, can you see what is happening? That guy is gone. Now my local storage, I also have one item here. But by the time I reload, can you see what is happening? It's no longer coming back. You get. So please take note. So it's just the same line of code I'm adding there, right? So when I have this tested, put this renewed, put this, and so on and so forth. When I click on this guy, can you see what's happening? So it's out of the local storage. So when I reload, you can see it's no longer coming back. So we are done with the adding and removing from local storage, right? So there's something we want to do, or there are two other things we want to do. Now what are these guys? This thing is blocking me. Okay, I can hide it. Now what are these other things? Now the first is that I want to set a reminder. Don't forget we have a reminder as a part of the property, right? But for this one I didn't add reminder. You get it just so now, but we want to add reminder. So let's go with that reminder first. So how do we add the reminder? Now the reminder is just a how will I call it? It's just a boolean. Don't forget, I'm coming. How do you know it's a boolean? By the time I come back to where's this guy? Where's this guy? Where's our add? I'm coming. Our form, right? If you notice very well, yesterday we just set reminder to be false by default. This is not a boolean. When we're creating a new one, we just set reminder to be false, right? So now, how do we get this now? First of all, I said I want this to be global, right? Such that everything on my application can access that state. So if I go back to my app.view, just to this is my data, right? I can put this close to data. I can do something like reminder, right? Then now by default, reminder should be false since it's already false by default or true, right? Um, I'm coming. Reminder. Can you see what is happening? So I'm setting reminder to be false, right? Now that is not doing anything yet. So now how do we make it do something? Now I need to come down here and write a method. I need to write who that guy now. I need to write a method such that I cannot pass that method into this component. Now see, this is my app.view. I need to write a method because I want to do it in such a way that when I double click on this guy, there should be a green border on the left hand side or something to show that okay, fine, I'm setting a reminder. When I double click, there should be a green border or something else. So how do we go about that? Now, first of all, I'll do something like I've already set my reminder here. Now I'll now do something like set reminder, right? Now this reminder will take in an index. Is that not so? Why is it taking an index? Don't forget, yesterday we didn't have an ID. It was index. We're looking for a unique property to delete something. You get. So also when I want to update something, I also look for a unique property. Is that not so? Now I will say this dot task, right? Then I will get the index by using this key. Don't forget this. Remember now, if you want to access the elements of an array, you use square brackets, right? So that's what we're doing. We're saying okay, this dot task. Then I'm taking the index. Then I'm getting the reminder, right? Now that's what this guy will give me. Now I would have console log this. Now I'm coming. Let me just console log this. Let me just say console dot log so that we can see what we are getting. Now if I console log this, now don't forget this is a function, not a method. Any and yesterday, if you want to take a method or something, what we'll do is that we'll go to that component, the component in which we want to use the method, we'll define it and bind it by doing something like that. So let's just not waste time. Let's just come back. I want to use that in my task component, right? So I'll just see at whenever I call a method call toggle reminder. I want to call this set reminder function. Set reminder. Okay, let me not call this toggle reminder. Let me call this set reminder. Whenever I call this set reminder function, I want to call this set. Sorry. Whenever I call this set reminder function, which I'm going to define very soon, I want to call this set reminder function that is already here. I don't know if you are getting my point. Don't forget, we need to go back to the component and emit this. Now, let me just recall yesterday. Inside this task, inside my, where is it called? Task.view. We emitted a function upstairs. Can you guys see it? This is a method, then we emitted this guy upstairs. Right, this is the emit deleter. So we want to do the same thing. Now we'll come here now, we'll say set reminder, right? Now this will also take an index, right? Then now I want to say this dot emit, this dot emit, right? Then I want to emit what's it called? Let me call it, remember we'll call it set reminder. Let me just check again. App.view. Remember we were calling it set reminder. Is that not so? Let me just copy this name to avoid story that touches the app. So if I go back here, this is the method I want to emit. I'm almost making a mistake, right? Then I also want to get the index of it. Is that not so? Now this is not the only thing I will do, because this is me setting the method and emitting it over here. Now I need to go upstairs. Now where did I want to use that method? Now, like I said, whenever I double click on this guy, I want to apply that method, right? Now I'll go upstairs inside of this div. Whenever I click on this div, I want to at click, right? I want to call this function. What's the name of the function? The function is called set reminder. So calm down now. So I'll say set reminder. But now I'm also going to pass in the index. Don't forget. I'm also going to pass in the index, because if I say set reminder, it's just like you are creating a function, you are passing a parameter, but when you are calling the function, you are not adding an argument. That's what's happening. So just like we did for the delete, can you see what we did yesterday? So we're also going to do the same for the set. Now, like I said, if I click this, it won't do anything because I'm just logging it on my console, right? So let me go back to my guy and check. Now, if you look at my console, I'm getting false. Now, the state of this reminder is false. That's what this thing simply means. Now, if I click on this one, the state of it is also false. Remember, by default, all reminders are set to false. But now, what I want to do is that I want to go back to my app.view, right? Then I want to set the reminder state to be equal to whatever the reminder state is not. So this is what I will just do. Just remove this console. Or in fact, let me just leave it this way. Just to come in, I'll say this dot task, right? Then this dot task index, then dot reminder to be equal to not. Remember, this will negate it whenever the function run, not this dot task, right? Then index, then dot reminder. So this is what I will do. Now, if I'm console logging, so once I say console log this dot task dot index dot reminder, now watch what I will get. So if I reload this page, when I click, it's true. Click false, true, false, true, false. Why? Because this function or this line of code is already changing it whenever the function run. Remember, function is a block of code that is executed when it is being called. So whenever this function is called, this will set this guy to be equal to the opposite of what it is. So if it was true, it will be false. If it's false, it will be true. True to false, false to true. So it will be running constantly or continuously that way. So now I've gotten what I need. How do I now make it fit into the UI? How do I now make it fit into the UI? Now, if I want to make it fit into my UI, it's just for me to, go and add something, maybe a style or something to make it noticeable. So let me come back to, so I don't need this console. Or in fact, let me just leave the console for now. I'll come to my tasks. See? Now, like I said, I want a green border on the left hand side. Then also, I don't want this to come on a click, because okay, fine. Let me just leave it as click first. I'm coming. I'll show you something. Now I will come back here and I'll set a reminder class here, right? So let me just come here and do something like this is my div. So let me just, okay, I didn't remove that. So this is a reminder class. Now what does this reminder class has? It's similar to this div. Everything the div has, you see, border 1 pixel, solid this, margin this. Then the reminder class is just adding a border less of 3 pixel solid green so that it will be seen. So just like if I come back here now, what do I need to do for that guy to be visible? Now this is my class, right? Now I want to pass a view class, or I want to do something with view. So I can do something like this. I'll say v bind, right? Then I will say class now equal to something. Now this is supposed to be curly bracket. Now I will say, okay, my reminder, right? Now if my reminder is true, give me the div, give me the reminder class. There are different ways to do this. Give me the reminder class. But yes, if it's not true, give me the div class, right? So let's just go back. Reminder. Is it reminder? I'm coming. Let me check. Is it reminder? I don't think it's supposed to be reminder. Let me come back again and check something. Now, this is this. Don't forget we set a variable called the reminder. Okay. I'm supposed to pass that guy. I'm supposed to pass this reminder, right, as a prop to this component. So I'm supposed to come here and I'll say, okay, reminder or vbind, vbind reminder. So instead of me to write vbind, I can just use colon vbind reminder, right? Then now this is a prop. Then I need to go back to my, what's it called, to my task.view, and I will add this guy under my props, right? So remember, this is my prop. I have task as an array. I can also have reminder, and this will be a type of string. Don't forget, right? Now I think this should be correct now. Oh, sorry, reminder is a boolean, not a string. So this is a boolean, right? So by the time I reload, can you see what's happening? When I click, true and false, true and false, true and false, true and false. But on the front end, it's not showing, right? So it's still not showing. Like the styling is not working. So how do you make it work? Now, div class, when I have vbind class, if reminder, add the reminder class s. Vbind class, if reminder is true, add the reminder class s. Okay, don't forget vbind can also be written as just ordinary colon. In fact, let me just leave the vbind. So let's see what's wrong. If reminder is true, add the reminder class, which is this. S, give me the other class, which is just the ordinary div. This thing is working well, but I'm clicking, the style is not applying. So let's see. What do you think is wrong? So I need your feedback. What do you think is wrong, guys? So let me hear from you guys. You know that. Let's solve it together. What do you think is wrong? Huh? What do you think is wrong? I'm coming. Let me see. Am I supposed to use zero of reminder? I don't think I'm supposed to use reminder. Don't forget, we are looping through this place, right? We are running a loop v for something. So I don't think I need this, right? I don't think I need this. Rather, I can have access to the reminder of this particular, what's it called? The reminder of this particular task. Don't forget, this task is an object. It has a text, it has a reminder, it also has a date. What if I do something like task dot reminder? So if the task dot reminder is true, give me something else, give me something else. So let's see. So okay, this one is working. Okay, you can see this one is working, right? So I need to come back here. Come here, let me close this so that you guys will see. Now if I reload, so when I click, you can see that there's a reminder class set now. It has a border of green, 3 pixels solid red. When I click again to go out, right? Click, come in, click, go out. But now I don't want it to be on a click, right? I want it to come on double click, because the reason is because if you have an application and you click, you are just seeing this click again, it's just somehow. So let's just change it to double click. So for double click, you just use DBL, right? So when I have DBL, right, double click, and I come back here, reload, right? When I click, double click, you can see it's coming, double click, and to go out, double click, go out, double click, coming. So that's for that. So for this one, double click. So if I go to my console, you guys should observe very well. If I go to my console, go to application, let's use this third one for, sorry, not that one. Let's use this one for instance, right? Now, this is the one that has a test theory, right? So when I double click, okay, I just noticed that my console and this guy, when the console is open, this guy is not working. I just noticed that. So what will happen is this: the state is false now, right? So I will close this guy and I'll double click, right? So let me come back and show you guys. When I inspect application, can you see what is happening? It's no longer okay. It's still showing false here. Okay, it's still showing false. Okay, let's see. Something is wrong. Now, let me tell you what is wrong. The reason it's still showing false is because if I go to my app.view, look at what is happening. Remember, when I added the task, I updated what was on my, what's it called? I updated my local storage, right? When I deleted the task, I also updated my local storage. But now I'm setting the reminder I'm not updating the local storage. So let me update it. Yeah, I think this will work now, or this will do it. Now, how do you know? First of all, uh, this is it. If I close this guy, I've not reloaded this page. If I double click, and I reload this page, this thing will go out. Okay, start reload. Sorry, this thing is using lifesaver. When I reload, it has automatically update. So that's what's happening. I've already set the, what's it called? I've already set the reminder. But now I've already set it on local storage. Let me remove this guy, and reload this page, right? So double click. Now you can see if I reload, what's happening? Double click, reload. Can you see what's happening? Remember, this one is already on the local storage before. In fact, let me just delete it. Let me just delete it. Then when I reload, nothing is there. If I say hello, and I say I say test. Now look at what is happening. Now, after updating the border and after updating the reminder state, I'm not setting to local storage. What will happen? If I do this, and I reload, right, all the reminder will be set back to false. Don't forget. But if I should go back, and add this guy, right, after setting the reminder, set it to local storage. So if I come back, reload this page, say something like hello, right, then double click. Let me set a reminder on this one, double click. If I reload this page, can you see what's happening? The reminder state is still there. Now if I go back, let's check now, right, you can see that some will be true, some will be false. If I come here, this one is true, this one is false. So take note of that. So if I delete, you can see it's out of it, right? So take note, take note, take note. So look at this one that is true now, which is the second one. That's an ID of 1. So if I come back here, double click, it has changed to false. So let me show you. If I come back to application, come back here, you can see that it's now false. So take note of that. So take note. So that's for that. We are done with the reminder and the local storage. The next thing we want to talk about is, did I clear this thing? Application. Okay, I cleared it. So let's just continue. So let me just add something, right? So when I reload, you can see that it's still there. So take note. Now the last thing we want to do is this. I want to make it such that this form, like what we have here, I want to make it such that this form will be able to toggle. So this button will be able to toggle the form, right? So that when the form is open, the form will show, and also this button will be it will have a color of green, and sorry, it will have a color of red, and the text called closed. So when it is closed, it will have a color of green and open to give a better feedback to the user, right? So let's just go back and work on that. So that's the last thing. So before we go into that part, is there any question before we do this last one? Then we'll call it a day.
Yeah,
Is there any question?
for the tax, what if you from creating the tax you you set the reminder to true? Will you have
Yeah,
the
if
same?
you set the reminder to true by default, it will have
Yes.
a green border by default. So it will still have the
Oh,
same effect. So when it comes to the
all
green
right.
border, you can update it, you can remove it, add it, remove it, add it. Don't forget,
All right.
okay. Don't forget, we are doing our own such that by default it should be false. Look at my form. Are you following? So by default, we are setting it to false. So let me just change it to true, then see what will happen. Hmm? In fact, I don't even need this guy here, sir. This one is waste of. That one is nothing. It's not doing anything because that's not where I'm using it. So if I come back, now I've set it such that by default it should give me true. Uh oh, oh. Okay. Okay. Though that one is nothing, but let me just show if I set. Can you see what's happening? The reason for that is just giving feedback to the user. You get. So that's why I put down there. Let me just put it there. So can you see what's happening? It's false by default. In fact, can you see what's happening? So that one is just this label that is there giving feedback, but there's not an issue if I do that. Where the main guy is coming from is this part. Where is it? It's coming from this part. Where is it? It's coming from this part. So take note of. So let me just set it back to false. Right? So let's work on the toggle form. So when I reload, it's still there. If I double click, can you see it double click again? So when I delete, it's out. Can you see it? So let's work on the toggle form. Now, how do we do this toggle form? It's very similar. So first of all, we'll go back to our app.view. So we're going to create the method and send it down, right? So yeah, BSS. No, Rabuni. No. It's not BSS. Success. That trumpet guy. I think he's dancing. Wait, now BSS be this. Now BSS. They sleep. Sorry, they sleeping. So let's continue. Sorry about that, guys. Let's continue. Now, the last thing we want to do is that we want to add the functionality to that button and that guy, right? To that button and the form, so that when I click it, to toggle it and click again to toggle it again. So now let's go to our app.js, right? So now let me just call this function. What will I call it? What should I call it? Toggle form. Let me call it toggle form, right? Now this will not take anything. Yeah, so let's just leave it like it's toggle form. Now what I want toggle form to do now, I will create a what's it called? A variable here called toggle. Right? So by default it should be false. Right? Now I will come here. The only thing I want this guy to do is that when I call this function, I want to set what's it called? I'll say this dot toggle should be equal to opposite of this dot toggle. Right? So when it's true, it will set it to false. When it's false, it will set it to true, just like we did over here. We get so something similar. But now I'll come back here. I will pass that guy to my navbar. Why am I passing it to my navbar? Because I want to use it inside the button that's on my navbar, right? That's one. Also, I also pass it to my form component because that's so let's just go back. So if I come here, I will see first of all I want to pass toggle. I'm coming. What did I call? I want to pass toggle. I'll use vbind. Don't forget it's a property. So I'll say vbind toggle equal to toggle. Toggle for me. Okay, toggle. And also I will say toggle form. Sorry, let me call it a function. I'll say as toggle form, which I will create later, equal to toggle form, right? So these are the two things I need. Vbind toggle, okay, toggle form, right? Then also to the form, I will also
That's
add this vbind. You said
I say you wrote double.
toggle. Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. So we got through an entire issue just now. So thank you very much. So I'll take this guy, right? Now this is the property, don't forget, or this is the variable, but this is the function. Now, if you notice very well, for the first one, I'm adding both the variable and the function. Why am I adding both of them? Because the variable will take care of the aspect of changing the text and the color, while the function will take care of the aspect of adding the events. Don't forget. Then now for the second one, I'm adding just the variable. The reason is because I don't want to do any action there. I only want to change something based on that variable value. So take note of that. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Then now, inside of my form, this is my form component. I'll go back here. I will. So let me catch that guy in the form. Now, first of all, I'll look for my props. Do I have props here? No. So I'll create props, right? Now, what's the name of the prop? The name of this prop is called toggle, right? The name of this prop is called toggle, and it has a data type of string. Is that not so? Now, I've succeeded in bringing the prop down here. How do I now make it work? Now, if you look at my form, this is my form. I can now do something like v if. Don't forget. Remember the v if and vs now? We talked about this last week. Was it last week or last 2 week? We talked about this. So I can do something like v if. I'm coming. Or v show. In fact, let me use v show. Let me see. V show. Okay, should I use this one? Should I use this one? I can't quite remember how to write it. But fine, there's still another way to do it. I can come back here and add a class just like we did over here. One thing about programming is this: there are different ways to kill a bird, there are different ways to do something. Now, if you find out that you can't remember something, don't stress yourself. Just feel relaxed. There's always resources to check. Nobody will kill you while you are checking this one or not. But now we are not going to check that. Though what we are going to do is this: we are going to use something like this, just like we added the class here. Can you see what's happening? Because it's the same thing. I want to hide and show. So it's just like I did here, something like this. That's what I will do. So I'll come back here because now I can't remember how to write the vbind, or I don't even know what to do now. So what I will do is this: I will say vbind, because it's still a view method. I'll say vbind of class. And now this class we take for my what? My toggle. Now don't forget this toggle here is a property. You get, compared to the other one we did the other time. And this property, I'm not using it in a loop, I'm using it outside the loop. So there's no need to say task.toggle. So I will just say this toggle. If toggle is true, add a class of hide to my form. Yes, don't add any class. Right? Add a class of hide. Yes, don't. So just come back here. Okay, can you see the hide class? So this is the hide class. So that's for that. So the hide class is nothing, it's just a div. So it's just a display of non-class. You get it? So take note of that. Or if I don't want to do that, I can just come here and do a style property here. You get? So but let's just leave it this way. So that's for that. Then also my app does sorry, my button. Don't forget I passed it to the button as well. Go to the app. This is the sorry, I passed it to the nav toggle and the button inside the navbar. So I'm going to go to my navbar. I will cache that guy. Right? I will cache it by saying what should I do now? I will say toggle. It has a class of string. Is that not so? So it has the type of strings. Is it string? No, boolean. Don't forget it's true and false. It has a data type of boolean. Then now I will come here. I'm not even using it there yet. So I want to create another method. Oh, I've already created the method before. But let me just show you the method. Now to create the method, just to say toggle form. Toggle form. Now, what will toggle form do? Toggle form will just emit something. What will it emit? It will just say this dot emit. Now I just want to emit toggle form, which is this guy I created over here. Is a sunlight now. Step out stand. So just to just to emit this function. But let me go back to my app.view. Let me be sure that that's what I called it. Okay, that's it. So this is what I will do, just it. So if I come back to my navbar.view, right? So this is what I'm doing. So just to emit that guy. So how do I call it here? Inside of my button, it's just to say at click, right? Then what will I do? I want to call this toggle form, right? So this is what I want to do. So if I come back here and I click, can you see what's happening? So it's already hiding and showing. I wanted to console log it before so that I will see, but no need to do that. It's already hiding and showing. But now my button style, let me take care of the button style. Remember, when I reload, by default, it's supposed to be, I think I use first by default. I'm coming, let me check. By default, I'm supposed to use first app.view. toggle should be false. By default. Okay, if I want it to be false, this is a toggle. Not equal to toggle. Okay. I'm coming. Oh. It's not supposed to be so, but I'm coming. I just want to check something. Why is it not showing? Okay, I think this is what I'm supposed to do. So that by default it should be hidden. Then when I open, it should come out, close. Now if it's open, when I reload, it should be hidden. Okay, good. This is what I want. This is what I want. Now good. This is what I want. Now if toggle is true, don't add any class, but if it's false, put the class of file. So this is it. This is it. So take note of that. So that one is out. Then now the next thing I want to take off is the text and the color of the button, right? So how do you go about the text and the color of the button? Now I can decide to come here. What's it called? I will come to my navbar.view. Don't forget this is the only place I'm using. This is the only place I'm using. I have a title of string. So I can come here, I can add a color. I'm defining another prop called string. Right? Now I will go to my button component as well. I will catch that color here. Color string. Right? Then how do I use it over here? Now instead of me to do this, I can decide to come here and do something like this. I'll say title. So a double curly bracket title. You can see nothing is showing yet, right? But if I go to my navbar.view, right, I can give a title, or I'll say vbind, then I'll say title should be equal to title, right? Vbind title should be equal to this title. Why is this not showing? Vbind title should be equal to title. Or I'm not passing any title yet. What if I do something like this? No need to vbind. Let me see. Okay, I have the title now. I have the title now.
Are we working on title or the color?
I'm coming. I want to work on the title, which is the text on the
The
button and also
text.
the color.
Okay, so
Yes.
alternate the text.
Yeah. So that's what I want to work on. Now, don't forget I have toggle here, which is a boolean. Now I will set it based on the toggle. Don't forget, I wanted to set it based on toggle, so that when it is open, it should do something. Now I can say vbind, right? Toggle. Now if toggle, hmm? Oh sorry, vbind title. Vbind title, then check something on the toggle. I'm coming. This is what I'm supposed to say. Vbind title. So the title is also a dynamic property. But now I want to check if this toggle property hmm, is true. I want it to show me open. I'm coming to S. It should show me close. Right? So can you see what's happening? So now if it's true, I want it to show close rather instead of open. Then if it's false, I want it to show open. Hmm? So can you see? It's telling me to open now. So when I click on it, it will show close. Let me just go and put a style on this button. So if I come to button.view, let me just add a class name of button, or this name of class. Okay, it's already there. Let me just add a background color here. Coming red so that you guys can see. Okay, it's not even okay. Fine, let's leave this on. Don't worry, you'll see it just now. So we're almost done. Since the text is changing, we're almost done. So if I come back to the nav bar again, I want to check for this title. I want to check for color. I'll say v bind then color, right, equal to something. So a double quote. Now if my toggle is true, I want it to be red, else it should be green. Okay. VBind title, VBind of color. Toggle should be red, yes, show me green. This thing is working, but the color is not coming. So let me inspect. Let me see what's wrong with it.
The color or background color.
Background color. Oh. I think that's that. I'm coming. Okay, I've seen the reason why it's not working. I've seen the reason why it's not working. So that color we are using there is correct. The color, sorry, where is it? This color over here. Can you see it? It's correct. But now how do we make it? You see, the naming is just your choice. You can call it anything of your choice. But now how do I make it such that it will show? If I come back to my button, don't forget what's making that text to show is because of this title. Let me just cancel it. Hmm? Yeah. So it's because of this title. That's why the title is showing. If I should remove this title, hmm, let's just think. Can you see that nothing is showing again? So that's the dynamic variable that is coming. So if I control Z now, all I need to do is just to come here and set a style property. Hmm? And I will say, okay, not just style. I want it to be dynamic. So I will say vbind, right? Vbind style, right? And I want to give it a background color of that color. Can you see it now? So it's working. So when I close, can you see it? Open, then close, red, open. So that's for that. So that's that about the application. Very simple. And during the course of learning it, you are going to learn new methods and other things. You get. So that's just how it works. When you are faced with a project, hmm, what you need to do, just apply what you know. You get. Just apply what you know. You just to be easy. If you notice very well, there was a time I wanted to use what's it called, V4 and VE, but I couldn't remember it. You get, but based on the fact that I'm already into programming, I know how to go about this stuff, so I was able to do it. So this is when I come here, I can add the task. I'll say new task, right? Submit. By default to be first. I'll come here. I'll say new task 2, right? By default, what's the time? By default, it will also be first. Okay, I can set a reminder for it. I'll close my form, right? So even if I reload, the form is still closed. Don't forget the form. We are not setting the form to local storage. It's only the reminder. So if the form is open and I reload, can you see that it's now closed back? You get, so I just said by default the form should be closed. So the only thing we are setting to local storage is this guy. But we can do is such that when there's no task, we'll put a test saying no task to show or something like that. So let me see if I can do that. Let me see. In fact, that will be your assignment. So just try it. I'll push it to GitHub. So is there any questions so far? Any questions so far? So we are done with the project. And again, this is the last week of your 12-week program. It's been a long, though I'm not too active, based on traveling and so on and so forth. But it's been nice flowing with you guys. Let me put it that way. So is there any question before we go? VueJS doesn't end here. You get, so like I said, there are other applications you can do, things containing router and so on and so forth. Remember last week we talked about router to go to different pages, but we didn't build a full project with it or a full project that is including router. But provided you know how to do it, like how to route between pages, it will be easier for you to do. Right? So is there any question before we go? Before I push the code to GitHub.
No question from my end.
Okay, who else again? Any question? Good to trust on the Okay, no question. So question. Let me go to task. For task before. Okay. I'm coming. Let me check the Bluetooth screen for something. W2 is cool. So is there any question before we go? Is there any question before we go? So questions before we go? I'm waiting. Okay, I think I can do something like this. Since W2 school don't want to open, let me see if I can. I think I can do something like this. For this task, remember our V is something like this. V. Let me just get this paragraph tag. So I'll see V if, right? Then now, so if let me see if tasks dot length is less than 0. Let me say less than or equal to 0. Let me something like no task to show. Okay, it's correct. So this is what I wanted to do. So it's correct. The reason why this red guy is coming, I think it's because of this other one here. But don't worry, it's correct. So no task to show. But when there's a task, let me see if I see new task. Can you see that guy is out of there now? So it's very easy to do. No task to show. Okay, good. So that's for that. That's for that. So is there any question before we go? Now, since there's no question, I'll push this to GitHub, then I will resend the link so that you guys
Hello,
can
sir.
clone and do. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, sir. Yeah, sorry, can you just explain the reason, like when we bind, like when we bind and when we're adding the method to
Yeah,
specific, maybe like in the form or in the nav
yeah.
file, please can you just like go over it again? Because I'm a little confused about the whole process.
Okay, the whole process, right? So,
But I've
yeah,
been
you.
understanding, yeah, I've been in past classes.
Okay, let me just go through it once. Now, the V bind, these are view directives. Not only V bind, there are a lot of it. V bind, V bind, V if, V model, V4, and so on and so forth. What they are doing is that they are used to work with view method or view variables. Let me put it that way from understanding view variables. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, if I come back to my app.js, this reminder and toggle, both of them are variable from this data method. Now, true or false? Answer now, true or false?
Yeah, they are very
Yeah,
good.
since they are variables from this place, whenever I want to use them somewhere else or whenever I want to pass them, I can't just pass them. You get? So different framework has the way of passing prop. Like for a language like React, now you don't need to say vbind. All you need to do is just to say toggle equal to toggle. You get? But in that case, now you can't do it with this. For React, you will do something like this toggle equal to curly bracket. This will see it as a variable. But for Vue now, what we are doing, we are saying vbind, we are now setting the variable name to be equal to what we are trying to pass. I don't know if you get my point. So this vbind is a directive for working with different things. One of them is HTML attributes. So if you look at this thing now, this thing is similar to the way you do HTML attribute now, right? If I want to do class, href, and all those stuff, and I want it to be dynamic, whenever I want to do any dynamic thing in Vue, that's when you use the v directive. You get? Then also, now this method, like I said, these guys, what are they? I said the method are custom functions that you create, right? Such that they can interact with your They can interact with your web page or anything using the HTML event method. Is that not so? Now, there's also a directive for passing these functions. Whenever you want to pass function, the directive is v on, right? Now, in place of this, I can say v on. You get this just like an alias. I can just say at. You see the same thing. Just like this one. Instead of me to say vbind, I can also do something like this. Now, whenever you want to do an on click method or on something, on this, on double click, use the at or the v on method. So let me just go back to W2 school. I want to show you guys something. That's how I opened W2 school before. W2 school. Let
Hey,
me just show
teacher.
you something. Okay, you've gotten it now.
I understand, but you can go for that with the W3, sir.
Okay, you can go further with W2 school. Okay. So just go through directive. You see the different types there. You get my point. Just go through the directive. You see the different types. So I will drop an assignment, and the assignment will be very, very similar to this. So it will not be difficult. Now, for view, we've only done one assignment, and I wanted to make it such that it will be theory. But so what will happen is this: the second assignment, is the same with this one. The assignment must be up to 3. You get the second assignment is the same with this one. What do I mean the same with this one? Everything we did here, let me just give you small expo. Let me put it down. Everything we did here is the same thing you are going to do on that assignment. It's just that there will be a little extra step. I don't know if you get my point. A little extra step. I want to see your method of looping through array and getting something special for me, something like that. That's why I'm giving the assignment. So you guys will see it on your LMS. Then the last assignment will be working route and something. Maybe you guys will create another website. Then you guys will go further in your study. Try to study IDs, like how do you pass dynamic route and so on and so forth. You guys will go further. So they also give you guys one repo, right? Where you guys can see something similar, but not exactly the same thing. Okay, so we'll see later on from your LMS. And also, if you are facing issues with the task, my DM is there on Slack. You can send text, I will reply, I will answer you. Get. So that's for
Okay.
that. So let me push this to GitHub. Any other question?
Yeah, so this same data methods we have in the app.view, we can still have them in any other companies, right?
Yeah, sure. Look at it now. Look at it here now. It's inside my nav bar. Can you see it?
So
Whenever you want to write it,
if I
yes,
have it
whenever you
in
want to write
component
function, yes, I need a function inside that component. You must use method to do it. You get.
method,
And also, if you want a property, because if you look at this one now, I didn't define any property here. Maybe I want to define it. Let me just. Did I define anyone in the button? Okay, I didn't define here also. I don't define. If I want to define, eh, I
yeah.
will define it inside the data function. Don't forget, whenever you want to define a property, it must be inside the data function. Again, so
Okay.
it can be on any component.
And if I have any data and I want to use it in another component, I'll use the vbind, right?
Yeah, you
And
use the
the
vbind
method
to
I,
pass it.
I
Yes, to
yeah,
pass it as a prop.
the
Yeah.
method I use the add.
Yeah. Then take note if you want to write your prop, there are different ways, but this is the one I'm most familiar with. Like this is it now. When I need it, when I have a prop, I will write the prop, then I'll put the name of the prop and the data type of the prop. You get. So take note. Then
Okay.
when I want to embed a component, I'll also put a comp. So if you go through it, you will see it's very easy. Like it's easy. Just go through it. I want to push this code to the repo now. Then I will send you guys the link. Then go through it. Are you following?
Yeah, all right, no problem.
Okay. Where's the PowerShell coming from? Okay. So I'm coming. Let me just push to Git. Okay.
Hello.
So um git add git commit
Hello.
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, sorry. My network is at the point you were talking about the last assignment. Sorry, can you like brief again?
I said I wanted to give you guys 3 assignments. Like I've already given one, and
One, yes.
that one is similar to what we did in class. Now I explained those stuff
Yes.
that day. Then now the second assignment I will give, it will be similar, like almost the same with this one. You get, but there's a little extra step to take. Because it's just when you see it, you will know it's simple, it's easy. I don't want to stress you guys, but then just go through the notes, go
So how
through the
about the
resources.
last one? How about the last one?
Then the last assignment, it will also be easy. I'll give you something like I'll give you a repo that's similar to the assignment, but not exactly the same. You will stress yourself a bit. You get. So that's just it. That's just it.
Thank you.
Something whereby you can apply your knowledge of HTML, CSS, and design something else. Then for the routing, I'll give you something similar. That there's one website I showed you guys the first day we started. So you guys can look at it from there, learn the routing from there, then apply your knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So all of them will be on the LMS. You get. Then, if for instance you see the assignment and you're still struggling, maybe you have a question to ask, feel free to send a message. I will answer you. I will provide as much support I can. So that's it. So, is there any other question? Okay, no question. So, bye for now, guys. We can continue on Slack later on. So, let me just share the repo link again. So, you guys can start editing. Bye for now. I will share the repo link now.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.